Speak No Evil is the 2024 remake of the 2022 original, directed by Danish actor-director Christian Taftrup. It's interesting that the original came out just 2 years ago and has already been remade. I get making this movie for an American audience in a slightly more entertaining way. If you've seen the original, you know exactly what I mean. The 22 version is really dark and bleak with a shocking, disturbing ending that I actually appreciated but wouldn't want to see again, honestly. The ending of the original makes sense in the context of the story that Taftrup is actually trying to tell, that basically the Danish and the Dutch have very different cultures, and how do you react to someone else's culture or way of living when it's uncomfortable? There's uncomfortable moments. Being passive and nice despite aggressive and abrasive behavior can kind of get you in trouble. The American remake doesn't make as much sense and can't give you the same revelation for a few reasons. There is the Americans in England that is sort of contrasting cultures, but I don't think it feels the same here. And the ending has been changed probably to be more Americanized and palpable and not as dark. Foreign films have always been able to push the boundaries more than American movies, and whether that's good or bad is, I guess, a little subjective. It does present the question of crossing boundaries and trusting your instincts when it's time to maybe say, thanks, we had a great time, goodbye. Whether it may hurt someone's feelings or not in an awkward, uncomfortable, or potential dangerous situation. When do you leave? This remake is directed by James Watkins, director of the 2012 Woman in Black, an episode of Black Mirror, and a few movies that I honestly didn't know existed. The movie stars the incredible James McAvoy, also starring Scoot McNairy and Mackenzie Davis, who are back together again since both starring in the hit AMC TV show *Halt and Catch Fire*. You may have also seen McNairy in movies such as Gone Girl, Argo, A Quiet Place 2, and a bunch more. Davis's movies include Terminator Dark Fate, Blade Runner 2049, and Station 11. This 2-year reboot starts like the original. Louise Dalton, Ben Dalton, and their daughter Agnes meet Patty, Sierra, and their son Ant on a holiday vacation in Italy. While they're looking for Agnes's stuffed bunny that she carries around due to her major anxiety, the family runs into Patty and his family. Patty, returning the found bunny, offers Agnes a ride on his rented Vespa, and with some hesitation from her parents, is still whisked off by Patty as he drives really fast and reckless without either of them wearing helmets. Obviously, that should be red flag number 1. After a few dinners with Patty and family and a few laughs, the Daltons head back home to London, where waiting for them is a postcard of the two families together and an invitation to come to Patty and Sierra's isolated British farms. Louise brings up the obvious that it might not be the best idea to stay a week with people that they don't know, but you know what? Why not? When they get to the farm, they are welcomed with open arms and hugs all around. Patty, who slaughtered their prize goose to cook for the Daltons, offers Louise, who's a vegetarian, the first bite. Not taking no for an answer, she takes a bite and spits it out without them noticing. Red flag number 2. Oh, and their son has no tongue. That's red flag number 3. Or maybe actually number 1. When shown their room, they realize that their sheets are dirty and they've made a little bed on the floor of Aunt's room for Agnes. About this time, the phrase, "you should have said something," has been written into the script at least 3 times, and this family doesn't seem to be the brightest. There's a lot of ups and downs of uncomfortable here. Patty and his wife will do something really strange and uncomfortable or just inappropriate and then explain it away, and then everything's good. You think after the 3rd or 4th time you'd be making excuses pretty fast to leave. But not this family. Oh, you want to go out to dinner and have some strange guy that we've never met from Syria to babysit while we're gone? Sure. You're emotionally abusive to your son because he messed up a kid's dance? No issues here. The movie isn't as intense as the original, but it does rev up to 100 miles an hour in the 3rd act. What's strange to me was it included a lot of the original film, but it didn't fully deliver. Like, they took a really intense scene from the first movie and cut it in half, like a watered down version of that scene, and they did this a lot, making it way less intense than the original. The writers did add more exposition to the story. You hear about the problems the Daltons are going through in their marriage and why Patty does what he does, but I really don't think that was really needed. And yes, all that was left out of the original, but it made the movie actually better. It's kind of like one of my favorite Spielberg movies, Duel. A truck driver that torments another driver just trying to get home to his wife and kid is really terrifying because you don't see his face or hear his story or even know where he comes from. He's just trying to kill this other driver on the road. I think it's because of road rage, but we really don't even know that. I'm just saying that sometimes in the story, less is more. James McAvoy is fantastic in this movie. He's jacked and he's angry. He really holds this film together. Not to take away from the rest of the cast, they really did a great job. The mom, Louise, has more of a voice than the mom in the original, and she's pretty outspoken. And the dad is really, really passive, like the dad in the original. The third act is really where the differences are between the original and the remake. Even though the original was more shocking and made me feel a certain sort of way, the remake is more bloody, but satisfying, and with its own plot twist that doesn't disappoint at all. Even though the original ending is better, I preferred this one. That's all I want to say about the ending. Just go watch the original after you see this one. If you see this one, you'll understand what I mean. All in all, Speak No Evil was an enjoyable movie with some great acting from McAvoy especially, an interesting story with some really stupid unaware characters, but some funny moments, uncomfortable moments, and a few on the edge of your seat thrills. It's worth the price of a theater seat, and I give it 3.5 screaming, angry James McAvoys out of 5. Have you seen Speak No Evil? Do you plan to? Let me know your thoughts about this movie or the original in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you don't mind. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's all go to the theater and see it together.